G'day everyone, welcome back to our food room. Today we're going to make a typically Aussie little biscuit. It's called Jam Drops. Before we start our cooking, you'll see that I've got my hair up, my apron on, and I've been over to the sink and I've washed my hands for about 20 seconds or singing my happy birthday song for the length of the time that you wash your hands, and I've dried it with a tea towel. What I am going to do is set my oven on to 180 and turn the fan on. When we're in the food room, it's important to make sure that the oven is turned on properly, so it's both, if you're working in a partnership, it's both their responsibility, and myself or the food assistant will actually go around and check all the ovens in the food room to make sure they're on, and we've just double checked that. Here we have our ingredients today. We've got 125 grams of butter that will just need to be chopped and softened so we can do our creaming method. We need a teaspoon of vanilla essence, 2 eggs, 2 cups of plain flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 cup of jam, and some caster sugar. So what you want to do is, if you want to separate your students into one chef and a second chef doing work, the first chef can be chopping up the butter. Now, last time I did this in a demonstration, if you've watched my other clips, I over melted it, which I'm going to try not to do that today. So you put it in the microwave, you cover that with a piece of paper towel. And I'm going to keep it on that, I'm not going to walk away. Oh, that's pretty good, I think. Just check that. Oh, much better. And not over melted. Close the microwave, make sure it's safe. Okay, so I'm going to add the butter into my bowl. Just put that to the side. I've already measured out my 3/4 cup of caster sugar, and that's going to go on. Put to the side. I'm going to put in my teaspoon of vanilla essence. Doing that over the bowl. And then I'm going to grab my beater, and I'm going to make sure the beater is down towards the bottom of the bowl. A lot of times we get students who beat the bowl rather than the ingredients, and I'm going to have one hand on the bowl, so making sure that it doesn't fly off anyway. Okay, much better than last time already. I'm just going to press pause for a second. I've got my eggs ready to go. Oh, Michelle, Aki, Marvin. Giving that a whisk. I'm going to put one in.
Oh, you cream the butter.
And then I'm going to put my second. And do my second one. Now I'm going to whisk my first egg, and then I will add my second. Good. I'm going to add my second egg. Come and have a look. See how nicely that's going. Okay. I'm just going to grab a knife and remove that excess mixture off the beaters. Just put that aside. Now I'm going to start to collect my dry ingredients. So again, when you get your dry ingredients, you want to grab a heaped spoonful, cupful of your mixture. And I'm going to use the back of my knife to level that off and put it into my sifter, which is in my bowl. Now again, all of our ingredients have their cup measure in them, and we have a separate knife so we don't have any cross-contamination. And I'm also going to take 2 spoonfuls of baking powder, and that goes in there as well. So again, a nice heaped amount, and just leveling that off. And we want to make sure they're all sifted together so they don't end up with any big clumps of an ingredient. So that's going to get sifted. Come in here. We can go from the top. Careful, careful, careful. And then our dry ingredients are going to go into our creamed mixture. And I'm going to use a spoon to give that a stir. So I'm not stirring it vigorously, and I keep one hand on the side just to give it a, I don't know, helping hand to go around. That's coming together nicely now. Now again, when you're doing your stirring, you want to make sure that you have your no dry ingredients like flour just on the bottom, because once you're starting to spoon that mixture out, it'll become quite dry if it's not thoroughly mixed in together. Okay, just use my spoon there to get that off. I'm going to grab my baking tray and my paper, and we're going to, I was just reading on my menu about the size. It says golf ball size. Oh, that's a bit big. Now you want to try and get some uniformity in the size of your biscuits. If you have, you know, a big whopping mixture and you put that in the oven, it's kind of cool to do, but if you have a small quantity of mixture in the oven as well, then you have an uneven cooking time. A bit more. So I put my mixture onto my 2 trays, and you can see I haven't got very many biscuits on here, but this one's kind of full, so I'll spread them out in a moment. What you can do is just grab a little bit of leftover flour, or get some more flour, put that in your hands, put it onto your tray, and press a little indent so that your jam will sit in there nicely. Last one. Just going to spread those out a little bit. And I'm going to take some jam, put that in the center. I can just imagine the taste of warm jam already. So I've got 2 trays to do, but watching me do 2 trays is not very exciting. So I will put one in the oven, and then I'll just do the other one, and then they'll both come out together. Oops, my finger. Now that's going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. So I'm just going to be careful of the space that I'm in, making sure it's safe. I'm going to go over to the oven. I'm going to open the oven door fully so that it doesn't bounce back and hit my tray. I'm going to put my tray in so that it's landscape and that sits at the top. Close that up without banging, and it's going to go in for 15 minutes. So if it goes in at 10:45, good, then it's got to come out in 11. And if you're not going to remember the time and how long it's in for, I'd suggest you write it down. Okay, so our biscuits have been in the oven for about 15 minutes now, and I did turn them around, rotating them, and swap the shells over so they have a nice even consistency with their cooking. So again, I'm going to use my oven mitts. I'm going to open the oven door fully. I'm going to make sure my space around them is nice and clear. And then I'm going to take them out and put them on the cooling tray. Okay, I so want to have a bite of those because I really like warm biscuits. I'll make sure my oven door is closed, but if you bite into those biscuits now, they are far too hot and that jam will just burn your tongue, so please don't do that. So in order for your biscuits, jam drops, sorry, I call everything cookies, to harden, what you want to do is you need to leave them, but if you want them to cool a little bit quicker, just pull your baking tray out and then that will have your biscuits cool a little bit quicker. So enjoy.